Battle, a group of lieutenant governors are headed to the border today, and our own Troy Hayden.
Yeah,
he's taking the trip with them.
Yeah, I miss you guys already.
I know, you're all dressed and ready to go.
We know when you show up in your boots.
Got the boots going.
No tie.
Yeah, no tie.
You are ready to go.
Yeah, this should be a great trip, though, because there's a whole group of lieutenant governors. There's actually a lieutenant governor conference going on here in the Valley starting tomorrow. But our Secretary of State, we don't have a lieutenant governor here in Arizona, but our Secretary of State basically is that, and that's Michelle Reagan. She put out a request to all these lieutenant governors and said, hey, who would want to come in early and go down and see our border? Because everybody's talking about it. Donald Trump is talking about building a wall and deportations and things like that. So there's renewed interest in what's happening down there. In between half a dozen and a dozen said, yeah, we'd like to do that.
And you're going to make a couple stops, right?
Yeah, so we're jumping on a plane. None of this was state money, by the way. This was all private funding. And Fox 10, we're paying for our own ticket down there. But we're flying from Scottsdale down into Nogales. We're going to look at the border itself and all the security down there. But I think maybe, when we've seen that quite a bit, but I think even more interesting, we're going to look at some of the commerce down there. We're going to go to one of the largest importers of produce out of Mexico in the whole country.
Right.
Millions and millions of dollars in produce coming across the border every day. And we're going to talk with those people. The ambassador from Mexico to the United States, the main guy who's in D.C., is going to be down there today. So we'll hopefully get a chance to speak with him. You know.
What part of the border are you visiting?
Nogales.
Nogales.
Yeah,
okay.
We're not going to cross the border. We're going to stay on our side. But, you know, there's a lieutenant governor from Rhode Island who's going to be there. Pennsylvania apparently is penciled in. So we got some real East Coast city slicker types coming out here.
And it'll be interesting to see what they think about the border. I mean, out here in the West, we have our own thought of everything that goes on and the controversy, and but what they think with that, it's going to be an interesting thing.
And I think, again, it's the pluses and the minuses, because sometimes I think the minuses get overplayed. You know, obviously there is an issue with keeping people from crossing legally, but at the same time, our border is a huge portal for money that benefits all of us. I mean, thousands of people. We're also going to look at the thousands of people, apparently, who walk across legally every single day to shop at Walmart and all those stores right there. And that's huge. Those are tax revenues that benefit all of us. So I think it's going to be interesting to see both sides.
And so you'll have some stuff later on today, and then, of course, tomorrow for us on the show, right?
Yeah, so hopefully we're going to report live as much as we can today up at the hotel in our 8 o'clock hour before we take off. Maybe I'll be able to grab one or two of those lieutenant governors and speak with them before we go. And then throughout the day on News Now, go to fox10phoenix.com. We should be reporting live from the border down there. The noon show, hopefully. And then tomorrow we'll have some tape stuff. So a lot of Troy at the border coming your way.
And then I saw on Facebook, you'll do some Facebook Lives permitting cell service stuff.
Exactly. As long as if there's a cell tower, we'll have it for you.
You'll see them. All right.
Good.
Well, safe travels.
Thank you very much. So I miss you today. We'll be back tomorrow, and we'll have all that stuff for you.
Looking forward to it.
Okay. See you guys.
Have a safe trip.
And who's joining us right now? Hi, Troy.
How am I going to follow the vampire story? That's so difficult, but we're going to try to do our best here. Hey, we're getting ready to take off. We're up in Scottsdale, right by the airport, and there's our bus waiting for us. You know, so much renewed interest in the border right now. There's a lieutenant governor's conference being held here in the Valley starting tomorrow, but our Secretary of State, Arizona doesn't have a lieutenant governor. Michelle Reagan decided to ask these lieutenant governors around the country who would like to come in early and maybe take a trip down to the border. And so that's what we're going to do today. Here's Secretary of State Michelle Reagan. Thank you for being here, Secretary of State. Appreciate it. What exactly are we going to be doing today?
We're going to be doing a lot of stuff. We're going to be going and touring Border Patrol. We're going to be visiting with produce companies who do importing, basically all of the fruits and vegetables that the Northeast and the Northwest eat during the winter comes through either Yuma or Nogales. So they're going to see those facilities. And then we're going to go visit customs and then fly over the border fencing on the way out. So they're going to get both sides.
Why is it important to bring everybody down here to do this?
I think it's really important so that people can make up their own minds about the border. We have people, this is a bipartisan group, so we have Republicans and Democrats. And what's really important to me is that some of these lieutenant governors will be governors in their own states or perhaps senators, and they'll be making decisions for Arizona based on immigration, but they've never seen the actual border or the border fencing or the customs or the money coming across the border. So we want to bring them down there, show them the good and the bad, and they can make up their own mind about what they think about the border, but at least they'll be making up their own mind with facts.
So let's meet a couple of them if we can. Hello, both of you. Please, two lieutenant governors. Can you please introduce yourself to our audience?
I'm Nancy Wyman, Lieutenant Governor of Connecticut.
Okay. And you?
I'm Billy Nungesser, Lieutenant Governor of Louisiana.
Thank you for coming to Arizona. what are you expecting to see today?
I'm excited. I never saw the border. I've heard so much about it. I want to see what goes on there and see what it really looks like. You know, we hear different things in Connecticut. We want to get down here, and the Secretary of State was so nice to invite us down and plan this out for us. I'm excited about it.
Do you have maybe some preconceived notions about what you might see down there? I mean, what are you expecting?
Well, a fence, a wall, or, security. But what I'm excited about is learning the real challenges we face with a new president, and obviously some new policies are going to be put in place. The lieutenant governors in each state, it affects their state personally. So we have a vested interest in making sure things are done right, and to be able to see it firsthand will give us a great opportunity to really understand what's going on at the border.
Well, thank both of you, and I'm looking forward to hanging out with you all day, and you as well, Secretary Reagan. So we're getting on the bus in a few minutes here. I'm going to have live reports throughout the day on Fox News Now, so go to fox10phoenix.com, and you can link to that, and also a ton of reports tomorrow on the morning show. Back to you guys.
Okay, we're looking forward to it. Thank you. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Troy.
All right, a lot of people talking about the border again because of the president-elect's stance on building a wall down there and all that stuff. So we went down to Nogales yesterday. We were invited along exclusively with a group of lieutenant governors from around the country, and they wanted to get a look at the border. One of the places we went was right here. This is the outside of a huge produce warehouse. And this is just one of dozens in that area. And some of this produce was grown as far down as the southern border of Mexico, like down Central America on huge farms. One of the guys said, there are tracts of Mexico that are just like Salinas and Monterey, but they're 10 times as big.
Really?
And so we're able to grow all this amazing produce down there, and then we ship it up here. So I saw those produce handlers yesterday about how important this is to our state. Here we go. So now we're in a very large produce warehouse here in Nogales. A lot of money comes through here that it benefits a lot of us. Chris here. Chris, introduce yourself to everybody.
Chris Cerulli from Cerulli Brothers.
All right. And tell us about some of this produce, first of all.
So this is all product grown in Mexico. It's brought in for U.S. consumption, and this is going to go anywhere from Boston to New York to your local markets in Phoenix.
And it's a big deal, isn't it, this border crossing here in Nogales? We get a lot of produce coming across.
This is the largest fresh port of entry to the U.S. comes through Nogales, more than Philadelphia, more than Miami. So this is the fresh place to come.
What kind of stuff comes through here?
Well, you're going to see a lot of dry veg, eggplant, green beans, bell peppers, watermelons, honeydews, cucumbers, and certainly one of my favorite mangoes, but it's a little bit too early for the mangoes.
So you have all these lieutenant governors here from all over the country. Why is it important for them to come and see your stuff?
You know, it's always important for people to understand that trade's good for all countries, and we need to explain to them the benefits for their individual states of how it comes down to them. And to have them actually see the border firsthand, it's a huge value to us. So we're very excited to be able to host this tour and the luncheon down here today.
How much money are we talking about?
This is about a $2.6 billion industry, so it's big for the economy of Arizona as well as for the U.S.
All right, Chris, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Appreciate it. Thanks for talking with us. There you go.
Well, and you know the thing is go to the grocery store, and as you're in the produce section, look at what you're buying, because a lot of it, most of the stuff that's in your cart is coming from Mexico.
Especially the off-season stuff. And somebody made a point, I think it was the guy from Pennsylvania, Lieutenant Governor from Pennsylvania, I believe, who basically raised his hand. He said, when I was a kid, you'd go to the grocery store and you'd want a strawberry. Your mom would say, hey, son, listen, strawberries aren't in season until, May or June, so just deal with it. Now, year-round, we have almost all we want. I mean, some are better than others.
You saw that watermelon, here we are in almost December, and yet they're still growing watermelon.
Almost tropical down there. So, and by the way, that was when we had our lunch. They catered the lunch from the other side of the border. So they went to a restaurant in Mexico and brought it up. It was so good. It was my mouth's still watering thinking about it. We're getting into the hungry time of the day. But it was like little street tacos and good vegetables and whatever, so that was pretty good. Wow. All right, now this whole trip was put on by Arizona Secretary of State Michelle Reagan, and when we got back, right as the sun was going down last night, it was a very long day, I asked her how she thought it went.
I think it was great. The feedback we were getting from people was just this was something they'd never seen before. They've heard, border, and they just think it's something they, don't even need to go see. And then when we brought them down there, they're wow. Right. Now they can't imagine. Why doesn't everybody know about this? It was kind of the thing that I kept hearing over and over. Everyone should see this.
And I think what they were really impressed by was the scope of the border, especially some of those East Coast areas. You know, everything's pretty closed in and pretty dense.
It's not as vast as what we have here.
You get up on a hill and you just look and see that border fence is going for miles and miles and miles. And so it's a good education. They said they're going to go back and talk to their constituents about
it. Is good for them to see a different perspective and actually see it than hear about it.